This episode of Budget MTG Decks is sponsored by Card Market. Play hard, trade smart. Hi, welcome to Budget MTG Decks. All magic fun, all cards under $1. I'm David, and today we're once again going to be looking at 5 must-have magic cards you won't believe are under $1. Now, as usual, these are cards that have been recently reprinted, and hence the price has dropped to below $1, making them perfect for budget players such as you and me. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first card. Our first card is Terminate. For a black and a red, so for 2 mana, we get an instant that allows us to destroy target creature, and it cannot be regenerated. Now, unlike most 2 mana instant removal spells, Terminate does not require any conditions to be used, such as Doomblade does or Cast Down. It even has an upside in its regeneration clause, making it really nice in Modern and also quite useful in Commander. It has been reprinted 6 times, and it's actually a wonder this card has only dropped to below $1 now. But thanks to Commander 2017, this card is now accessible to budget players too. Mind Crank is next for 2 mana. It's an artifact that states that whenever an opponent loses life, that player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard. Now, mill strategies usually don't get a lot of love in Magic, as it's pretty much a go hard or go home strategy, and there's no point in milling people just a little bit. So the nice thing about Mind Crank is that it allows you to mill and still win conventionally through damage if you want to. Even more delightful is that when it's paired with Duskmantle Guildmage, it becomes an infinite mill combo suitable for even the most frugal of players. In the last episode, we were delighted to see Akroma's Vengeance drop to below $1. Root is arguably even more exciting. For 3 and 2 white, so for 5 mana, it's a sorcery that states that we're going to destroy all creatures and they can't be regenerated. But we can cast Root as though it had flash if we pay 2 extra mana. Now, being able to cast this sweet board wipe as an instant for 7 mana means you have the flexibility of choosing between a Winds of Wrath and a Faded Retribution rolled into one convenient package. Commander players will be loving this for days. Next up is Reef Worm. For 3 and a blue, so for 4 mana, we get a 0/1 worm. Now, this little worm may not seem very impressive, but when Reef Worm dies, we're going to create a 3/3 blue fish creature token with, whenever this creature dies, create a 6/6 blue whale creature token with, when this creature dies, create a 9/9 blue kraken creature token. Now, being a Commander 2014 exclusive until its Masters 25 reprint means this sweet and unique card was outside the budget range for the longest time. Now, the flavor is also perfect, representing a maritime food chain in a single card, from worm to fish to whale to kraken, and of course it is 18 power for 4 mana, which is definitely nothing to sniff at. Mostly, it's simply a must-have card for blue in Commander because it gives players a source of tokens and large creatures, both of which are usually not blue strengths. And finally, we're going to look at Yeva, Nature's Herald. For 2 and 2 green, so for 4 mana, we get a 4/4 Legendary Elf Shaman. It has flash, and also you may cast green creature spells as though they had flash. Now, the great thing about Yeva is that it turns all your creatures into defensive combat tricks and additionally adds a level of flexibility and surprise usually not available to green players who'd like to play a little bit more straightforward. Also with Yeva, you can use creatures with Enter the Battlefield abilities as instants and also that leave a body behind, blowing people out with the likes of Acidic Slime and Terracodon, ruining the combo pieces when they least expect it. Well, those are 5 must-have Magic cards you won't believe are under $1. Now, remember, these cards were more expensive in the past, so it is kind of likely that they will probably go back up again in the future. And if you are going to pick them up, we recommend you go over to cardmarket.com. Why? Because actually, we have always been using Card Market over here at Budget MTG Decks because it's simply the cheapest way to get your cards. So head on over to cardmarket.com to pick these up. Also, join us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to talk to us about these cards, and also when new cards drop out, let us know, and then we can feature them on one of these videos. And also subscribe here on YouTube for the most powerful decks and advice everyone can afford. And if you do, don't forget that little bell button because then you get notified when a new video comes out. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm David, and this was Budget MTG Decks.